Good Friday morning. Welcome to #ZooOpenOnline. Today is a very special day for us. It is Lucas's birthday. Lucas is our youngest African elephant, and we are going to be celebrating big time. All members of our African elephant herd, you're looking at Twiggy right now, will be celebrating with Lucas. She has her own cake to enjoy, so you guys get a little sneak preview of what's going to happen. But Lucas will be out momentarily. While we're waiting here, let's give a few shout outs, and then we will get right into celebrating Lucas's birthday. All right, let's see who's with us here this morning.
Hey Kim, I don't have sound. Oh, there we go.
Good morning, Travis. He says, happy birthday, Lucas. Good morning, Denise. Happy Friday to you. Hi, Gabriella and Julianne. Good morning, Eliza and Skylar. Hi, Noah. Hey, Max. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, Theo, William, and Marcus. Hi, thanks, Travis, for wishing Lucas happy birthday. We'll be tuning in to see his party here today. Let's see who else we've got here. Christian, age 3, says, happy birthday, Lucas. Thanks for joining us, Christian. Oh, it's Rebecca's favorite animal. We love it. Going back on those days. All right, let's see. Hi, Athena and Kaden. Hi, Amelia, Ashton, and Gemma. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Ashton and Lily in Florida. Hi, Connie and Link. Hi, Mary Beth. All right, guys, we've got a lot of happy birthday wishes here. As we said, we're looking at Twiggy. Just wanted to give you guys a little sneak preview and tell you who all's with us here for the party today. But we are just outside of the Africa exhibit in Tembo, or the elephant exhibit in Tembo Trail. And we are here today to celebrate Lucas, the African elephant's 9th birthday. So we are moving from Twiggy's exhibit on over to where Lucas and his mom will be coming out. And while we're going, we want to go through our morning announcements with you guys. Don't forget, the menu for next week's Meals on the Go is already up on ToledoZoo.org/Meals on the Go. Get on, place your orders early. Also, our kids club, the Summer Kids Club, is starting on June 1st. So go ahead and sign your kiddos up for that. It's a cool version of summer camp in the pandemic times. So a little virtual fun for everyone. ToledoZoo.org/Kids Club for that one. And don't forget to check out everything our education department is doing at ToledoZoo.org/virtual. And as we've told you guys, we do remain closed. We do not yet have a reopening date. Many of you may have heard Ohio's governor said yesterday that he will hopefully give us some guidance next week. And we are as hopeful as you guys are. As soon as we know more information, we will let you know, and it will be posted on our social, on our website, and we, of course, will tell you on here. As we do remain closed, we appreciate everyone's support. If you can, hit that donate button on our live feed here today to help celebrate Lucas's birthday, or go to ToledoZoo.org/donate for all the ways that you can help. All right, we are here with Anna from the elephant staff, and we are outside of the cow yard where Renee and Lucas, our big birthday boy, will be coming out momentarily. Go ahead and give the radio and then start telling us about Lucas and all of his good birthday facts here.
All right. Elephants Mike and John, you guys are clear to let him out.
Okay.
So we're going to be opening the exhibit door. It's our door 15, which you'll see open, and he will come barreling out. He gets really excited about enrichment. So we have cakes out there. We have cardboard birthday presents that are filled with popcorn and hay.
All right, the door is opening, guys. This is Lucas
on his way,
coming out for his 9th
Here
birthday party. There he is. As Anna was saying, this is Lucas, our youngest male African elephant. And When was his birthday, Anna?
His
When was he
birthday
born?
is June 3rd. So we're celebrating a little bit early, but he is turning 9 this year.
All right. And what all is he enjoying out here?
So our wonderful enrichment department made a cardboard cake with some lovely candles that look very realistic. And we filled it with hay and popcorn. And then we also have some birthday cards for him as well.
All right. Very cool stuff. And give us some facts. So he's turning 9. How tall is he? How much does he weigh? All of those cool things.
He's probably about 6 feet tall, I would say, at the shoulder. So you can see African elephants, the highest part of their body are their shoulders. And his last weight, which we weighed him yesterday, was 4,560 pounds.
Oh my God.
So he's definitely put on a lot of weight. Usually elephants weigh anywhere between 275 to 300 pounds when they're born. So he has definitely put on a lot of weight. He's a growing boy.
That is so cool. And he is enjoying his custom cake created by our executive chef and her staff. And we actually have them with us back here today. So we are going to talk to Corey and see what all is in this amazing cake.
So we started each cake a little bit differently, but the base is mostly potatoes. Twiggy's cake had watermelon mixed in. Lucas and Renee's cake have grapes and cucumbers and peppers and tomatoes, and then we decorated the top with pumpkin frosting, and then it has plenty of fruits and vegetables there, which he loves to enjoy. My favorite, seeing him pick up the whole watermelon. I love that every year.
That is so cool. And you said you did make 3 different cakes, right?
Correct. One for Lucas, one for his mom, and then one for Twiggy.
We want to make sure that everybody celebrates, and especially during a pandemic, everybody should have cake in a
Everybody
birthday
deserves
celebration.
cake every day.
Right? And Corey, how long did these cakes take you to make?
Probably not too long, maybe an hour or two. It was the hardest part was just getting the potatoes mashed and ready for them, and we froze that so that it would all stick together. But other than that, it was just decorating with cut fruits and vegetables.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys so much. They are gorgeous to look at and obviously delicious for elephants. And all right, Anna, talk to us about other things that Lucas enjoys. What are some of his favorite treats on there, his favorite types of enrichment, that sort of thing?
He pretty much likes everything at this point. He's very not picky at all. So where you have Renee, who will hand back a piece of ginger or a piece of parsnip, he will eat everything in sight. He does love watermelons. Those are probably one of his favorites. Watermelons, apples, cantaloupes, anything really sweet is really good for them. They love it. We try and give it to them a little less frequently just because of the sugar content. So something like this is a very special treat for them just because it's all the good stuff all at once. He loves any type of enrichment, like I was saying, like the boxes. He just loves it all. He gets really excited. He loves tires. He loves the big mounds, just everything. He's a really easy to please kid.
That's awesome. And Tara noted that we have some cards out here for him. Does he know how to read?
He does not, unfortunately. We've been working on that, but he hasn't seemed to be picking it up real good. They can't read, but they do listen very, very well when we're doing training. They know words that are associated with that behavior. So we'll ask him for trunk, and he knows to put his trunk up. We'll ask for his foot. He knows foot means to put his foot up. So they are very, very smart.
And his mom is Renee, who's here with us.
Correct.
And he's friends with Twiggy over here in the other exhibit. Can you give us an update on his older brother, Louie?
Yes, so Louie is doing well so far. They're working on introducing him with another male that's currently at the facility. So they're doing different social groups with that male and then also with the females. So he's doing pretty good. He hasn't quite figured out the breeding aspect of his job yet, but he's doing really well out there.
And he's still young in
He's
that
still
phase
young,
of life.
Yep. So that'll come eventually to him.
All right. And Jody wants to know, does Lucas paint too? A couple weeks ago, we were here painting with Twiggy, and you guys mentioned that Renee paints. How about Lucas?
Lucas does paint. So he does the blow painting and he does brush painting. And he also does the footprints, obviously, as well.
All right.
So he's a multi-talented artist.
But we will not be asking him for his artistic services today.
Not
He gets
today.
a day off for his birthday, right?
Yep. He deserves just cake and love today.
Absolutely. So, and you guys are sending him lots of love. We really appreciate all of the birthday wishes, and he is obviously loving this cake here. Now, will Renee get to join him?
Yes. So in a few minutes, we'll let Renee out. We do have a separate cake like they were talking about on the other side of this pool here, but we always like to try and make sure that he gets as much of his own treats as possible. Renee can also be very food motivated, so sometimes she'll push him off stuff. So we don't want that to happen right now, since it is his birthday.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's his celebration.
It's his day,
Yep,
right?
Exactly.
All right. And Sue wants to know, does he lick his trunk like we lick our fingers when something's really good?
Yeah, they put their trunks in their mouths and they'll lick stuff off of it with their tongue.
That is cool.
Probably not in the same aspect as we do it with their fingers, but they definitely will. If there's something on their trunk, they will get it off their trunk.
And Teresa's son has a question. What type of elephant is he?
So he is an African elephant. So we have 3 African elephants here at the Toledo Zoo. The other species is an Asian elephant. The way you can tell them apart, there's multiple different ways. So the African elephant's ears look like the shape of Africa. Their bodies are shaped differently. And then the tip of their trunks are also shaped differently. So African elephants have almost like 2 finger-like projections at the end of their trunk, where Asians only have 1 finger-like projection at the edge of their trunk.
All right. And Annabelle asks, can he laugh or show other emotions?
So they don't laugh, but they will show us when they're excited. They will show us when they're nervous or scared, if they're intimidated, that kind of stuff. So if he's really excited, he may have his ears out, he may trumpet, he may be running around. If they're scared, a lot of times they'll have their ears up and their heads up, and they'll just be looking around to see what's going on. So they do show emotion for sure. They get excited when we come in first thing in the morning, and they will rumble at us and come to us right away just to see what we've got, say hello to us in the morning. So it's a cool animal to work with just because they're so personable.
Very cool. And Sandy wants to know, and this might be more for Corey over here, do you guys make cakes for Renee and Twiggy's birthdays too?
We mostly focus on Lucas's lately, but we take this as a chance to celebrate all of our elephants here at the zoo.
Very cool. And Ashton asks, do elephants have 2 knees on each leg?
2 knees? No, so they have an ankle and then they have a knee as well.
All right. And
on each leg.
And obviously the ankle is the lower part.
Correct. And then the knee, so you can see the back side of his knees, kind of where that point is right there. You can see it bend. And then on the back side as well, it's on the front side.
And that was so good. He just came up to show us.
That was perfect.
That was perfect. And Ashley says she remembers seeing him when he was just a baby.
He was very, very cute. When I first started here, he was about a year old, but he has won my heart over, as I'm sure he has won everybody's hearts, because he is just the cutest little guy.
He's not so little anymore.
He is not so little, yeah.
And how big is an African elephant baby when they're born?
They weigh anywhere between 275 to 300 pounds is a good average weight.
And Denise asks, how much bigger will he get?
He's got a lot of growing to do. So female elephants can weigh anywhere between 6,000 to 9,000 pounds. Male elephants can get up to 16,000 pounds.
Wow.
So I don't think he's going to get quite that large. That is on the large side of an elephant, but he'll probably get anywhere between 12 to 14,000.
And here comes Renee.
So as you can see, he is kind of submitting to her, being like, oh, hey, you're here. I don't want to cause any trouble.
And so she's going to take her turn at checking out what treats are out here. But as we said, it is a party for everyone today.
Correct, yep.
Specifically for Lucas, who is turning 9 today. Oh, well, in a couple of days,
yep.
but we're celebrating today. So
he celebrates his birthday every day. So he's going around the yard checking out. So there's other treats behind the enrichment walls through those holes. We have barrels that have popcorn and hay in there. So it looks like he's moving around to see what else is out there while Renee gets the rest of the cake.
And that's okay too.
Yep, she deserves it.
We know that you guys have out there, a lot of you come and celebrate his birthday each and every year with Lucas. And we did just get a message that says, I'm Olivia and my 9th birthday is also June 3rd.
Oh, yay. Happy
So,
birthday on June 3rd, Olivia.
happy early birthday, Olivia. Glad you get to celebrate today with Lucas and Renee. That's so cool.
You good girl. So Renee's giving you a close-up.
Yep, she's going to come over and show off a little bit for us.
You can see all the wrinkles on the elephant's body, their
Yes.
tails, all the tail hairs.
And I hope you guys are getting some impression of just how big she is.
So Renee weighs a little over 8,000 pounds. So she's a good, healthy female elephant.
And Sauter, age 11, would like to know, what position are they in when they sleep?
So they can sleep 2 different ways. Lucas is about to start playing with his tire. This is really fun. I don't know if you guys have been here when he plays with his tire, but it's basically his best friend. He loves playing with this thing all day.
Oh.
And this is what he does. So he picks it up and then he scoots it onto his back. So you can see how smart they are. That's the first thing he does. He picks it up and then he knows to shimmy it onto his back.
Yep.
So he'll play with this all day.
And he's also very strong to
Yes.
pick that up and put it on.
Yes, very strong. So for you watching that, just so you guys know what that was Renee saying, back off. It's my time to eat this. So it's just a little gesture for her to say, hey, keep your distance while I eat your food.
And African elephant herds are female dominated,
Yes.
right?
Yep. They are run by matriarchy, so she is technically the matriarch here.
And let's see, Caleb asks, how good is his hearing?
So their hearing is very, very good. They communicate a lot with low frequency sounds. So a lot of their communication we can't actually even hear. It's a lot of low rumbles. And they pick up those low rumbles on the bottom of their feet so they can communicate in the wild for miles and miles apart. And just to go back to the question about the sleeping, sorry, I got distracted by Renee.
We got so much cuteness happening here.
So they will sleep laying down and then they will also take naps standing up. When you look at the elephant, you can tell they're napping. Usually their trunks are about a foot on the ground, totally extended. You can see it's completely relaxed. Their heads are kind of downward and their ears a lot of times are relaxed. And you can see that they're napping. But they will all lay down over nighttime, anywhere between 1 to 2 hours, and they'll probably lay down a couple times throughout the night. So they do sleep laying down.
And Adeline, who's 7, would like to know, if he's happy, does he blow his trunk?
He blows his trunk if he's happy or not happy. That's just something they all do. If they're trying to get our attention, a lot of times they'll blow air at us because they know it gets our attention. They are also trained to blow out of their trunks, as you guys saw a couple weeks ago with the blow painting. You saw that they are trained to blow air out of their trunk, and then that puts the paint onto the canvas. They also are tested annually for tuberculosis, and we put saline into their trunks. They blow that saline into a bag, and then that saline is tested for the TB. So that is something that they know how to do. It's a completely natural behavior for the elephant, so it's something fun for them.
Very cool. And Tara asks, does Lucas have a favorite keeper?
I don't know if he has a favorite keeper. He responds very well to all of us, and we all respond very well to him back. We all love training him. He's a hoot. So I think he just gets excited for all of us because he knows we have food.
Absolutely. Yes. And Max and Avery would like to know, what is his favorite game to play?
Probably game tire, I would say.
Yes,
Anything
as
with
we are
a tire,
seeing.
as you can see. He loves his tires so much. We also have a very large black rubber ball that he loves pushing around and playing with that as well. He's just very playful in general, so he plays pretty much all day.
And can you talk to us about how elephants drink? Ryan specifically wants to know, how does the water stay in his trunk?
Sure. So the elephant has 2 nostrils at the end of their trunk that actually travel up the trunk. They will put their trunk in a body of water like the pool. They will suck up about 3 gallons of water probably in their trunk, and then they'll open their mouths and blow the water into their trunk. So that is how they drink.
Very cool. And if you guys are just tuning in, we are here for Lucas, the African elephant's 9th birthday, and he is who you're looking at right now. And can you recap for Adam how much he weighs now?
We weighed him yesterday, and he weighs 4,560 pounds.
Wow. but he still has quite a bit of
He
growing
has a
to
lot
do.
of growing to do. Yep, he can weigh anywhere between 12 to 16,000 pounds on the high end.
Oh my goodness.
So he definitely has a lot of growing to do.
And Nikki wants to know, does he have a favorite food?
He loves watermelons. That's probably one of all the elephants' favorite food. Watermelons, cantaloupes, any type of melon, just because it's really sweet. They love bananas. They really enjoy their pellets too, which is a daily diet for them.
And Clara asks, how tall is he?
He's probably about 6 feet tall at the shoulder, maybe a little more, 6 to 7 feet.
And he is in the exhibit here with his mother, Renee. Talk to us a little bit about her facts, too.
So Renee is 40 years old. She weighs about 8,000 pounds. Like we said, she is mother to to Lucas, and also she is Louie's mother as well. So they are half brothers.
And yep, we are here today, guys, celebrating Lucas's 9th birthday. But everybody's having a little bit of a party today. We have 3 different cakes made by our executive chef and her staff. And they're all made out of fruits and vegetables that these guys really love. And so everybody gets a little chance to enjoy something a little extra today. Talk to us about what Lucas is doing over here now.
So they will do this if there's a net that's a little too high, which we will put them up a little higher than normal on purpose. They will use the stumps. They will actually roll a stump all the way from the other side of the exhibit to get underneath a net. And they also use the big black ball that we have as well so that they can actually reach the net. So it's a really cool thing. You can see them using their brain and trying to puzzle solve and get it. Look at them.
Puzzle solving now to get his trunk back out from under the tire. My goodness.
And that tire weighs a couple hundred pounds, probably about 400 pounds.
Wow.
So to see him pick that up like it was nothing, it just shows you how strong they are. They are incredibly strong.
It is so impressive.
Yes.
Phyllis asks, what were the candles on his cake made out of?
So the candles were made out of, I believe they were paper towel tubes. And then they have just a non-acrylic animal-safe paint on there.
All right. And Clara asks, how fast can Lucas move?
They can get up to probably about 30 miles per hour. That is very fast. They typically don't do that unless they're very scared. They're on the move as a herd, but they can go very, very fast. And it's neat to see them run because their heads are bouncing, their ears are bouncing. So it's kind of funny to watch them run.
That is so
And it's
neat.
amazing to see something so big go that fast.
I was just going to say that.
Yes, it's very impressive.
Now, they do, in the wild, they'll walk quite a bit in a day,
Yes,
right?
they will walk for miles and miles in a day to find water source, food source, that kind of thing.
All right. And talk to us about their feet that are not only supporting all of this weight, but all of those steps in a day.
Yes, so their feet are very cushiony. They're made out of keratin, just like our fingernails, and then you can also see their toenails on their feet. And they're basically just big sponges that help support all that weight. When you see them walk, you can kind of see the foot give way, and then when they step down, you can see the foot smush out onto the ground to help support that weight. The cool thing about their feet also is that they're technically walking on their toenails. So the way to kind of think about it is if you put your hand out, your palm out, and then you would put almost like a tennis ball underneath your palm. That's basically how they're walking. So we like to keep their toenails a little higher off the ground just because we don't want them to have pressure on those toenails to cause cracks or anything like that. So they do get footwork done regularly.
There we go.
Oh.
All right. I'm sorry. Continue on with your toenails. We're making sure we're catching all the cuteness happening here today, guys.
So like I said, we do footwork on them regularly, maybe a foot once a week or so, just to keep an eye on it. But we will check their feet every day just to make sure that there's no stones or anything in there. Sometimes, since it is made out of keratin and it can be soft, sometimes they'll get little rips and tears in it that we'll take care of just to make sure that it's healthy.
And we're seeing Renee over here munching on the actual box that the cake was made out of. And it's cool for her to eat cardboard?
Yep, cardboard, paper. It's basically just recycled trees, so it's not harmful for them. It's something that we don't give them every day, but it is something that we'll give them on a pretty regular basis.
And Lucas is back there talk about the holes that are in that wall back there for him.
So in the cow barn here, we have 2 different enrichment walls. He's at the one enrichment wall, and then you saw him earlier on the other one, and then we have an enrichment wall where in Twiggy's yard as well. So we have those holes behind that wall. We have barrels, we have buckets, we have tires back there, and then we fill those every day with popcorn, vegetables, fruit, and a lot of the hay. So they actually have to go in and investigate through that hole to figure out what's back there. So it's something for them that's a very natural thing, that they're looking for treats. They're using their trunks and sensing what's back there to see if there's anything good. We try and vary what we put back there and where we put it so that they know not to always expect, oh, there's always going to be bananas in this one barrel. So it's something really enriching for them to have. It's a really, really cool design too.
And because they are so smart, you guys have to change it up.
Correct. Yep. And we'll change the barrels and change the locations and everything too. So they really have to work on it.
And right now, Corey's getting a really cool shot of Renee using her little finger-like projections to pick up little tiny pieces of the cake over here.
Their trunks are extremely impressive. Not only are they very strong, they can probably move about a 10-pound log with their trunks, but it's also very, very sensitive that they can actually pick up like a dime. So it's really cool adaptation for those elephants.
And that leads right into Maya, age 6's question. She wants to know how long their trunks are.
I've never actually, probably like 9 feet or so, 8 to 9 feet. And when you can see the trunk move, it's almost like a giant accordion. It stretches and then it moves in and out. So you can see it all scrunch up, and then, like I was talking about, when they're taking a nap, it's completely relaxed and it's actually laying about a foot on the ground.
Very cool.
So they're very, very impressive.
Esther, age 5, wants to know if they like to swim.
Yes and no. Renee's not the biggest fan of water, so we only have a wading pool here. Other zoos do have deep swimming pools, and their elephants do enjoy swimming in them. Asian elephants are more of the swimmers, whereas Africans are more wallowers. So we always want to make sure that we have a nice big wallow, which you can see behind Renee. Back there, it's black soil, and we always keep that with water in there just because they like to wallow pretty much every day, especially when it's hot outside. When they're wallowing, it helps protect their skin from bugs. It also helps protect their skin from the sun as well, and it cools them off.
And Kimmy Sue asks, at what age are African elephants full grown?
Usually about the age 25 is when they're considered full grown. They'll fluctuate a little bit here and there, but about 25.
And Izzy is wondering about their teeth. How many do they have?
So they get 6 sets of molars throughout their lifetime, and then their tusks are actually considered incisor teeth. So Lucas is probably on his 3rd or 4th set of teeth. So they'll have 2 top ones and 2 bottom ones. So when you look in their mouth, they just have rows of teeth. The cool thing about their teeth is that they move like conveyor belts. So the new one is actually being formed behind the old one. It's pushing forward like a conveyor belt and then pushing out the older tooth. A lot of times we'll find just little pieces on the ground. Usually we can see who it's from at this point still, just because Lucas's are still smaller than Renee's. And then we'll pick them up. We'll look inside their mouths. Usually you can see where it came from. Sometimes you can't see where it came from. It's always a little mystery sometimes. The full-size tooth is actually about the size of a brick. So a tooth is very, very cool.
Yeah.
But usually we'll just find little pieces here and there.
And Rebecca asks, how long do African elephants live?
So they can actually live up into their 60s and 70s. 50 is a good age for an elephant, but they can certainly live longer. With those teeth, they're usually on their last set of teeth around 60. So when they lose that last set is kind of when they would naturally pass on. In zoos and places like this, we can always soak their pellets. We can cut their hay up into little pieces so that they're still able to get all their nutrients that they need to be able to live.
And we've been watching Renee eat this, and she would take bites and then spit things out. You mentioned she's a picky eater. What doesn't she care for?
I'm not sure. She might just be flicking. If the mashed potatoes is actually just on her trunk, she might just be flicking it off. She might feel it. So they have little hairs all over their trunk. So sometimes if something gets stuck between those little hairs, it's almost like, I don't want to use the word ticklish, but I don't know what other use the word that she might just be flicking that off because it's bothering her.
Okay. And Calvin, age 6, asks, does Lucas breathe through his trunk?
Yes. They all breathe through their trunks.
All right. And Nina wants to know if he plays with that tire a lot.
Yes. If that tire is available in the yard, he pretty much plays with it all day and all night.
And guys, we had talked to our executive chefs earlier. They actually made these 3 cakes for our 3 African elephants out of all of the fruits and vegetables that they love. They created the actual kind of center-like cake part out of mashed potatoes, and then they made a pumpkin frosting and decorated with a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables all cut up. They looked gorgeous.
Yeah,
we were
they're
all
beautiful.
remarking before
Yes.
this that it actually looked quite tasty to humans too.
And with their cakes, we try not to use a lot of like peanut butter and fattening stuff like this. So this is a very healthy cake option for them, and they still love it.
But still really delicious and
Yes.
still something really special
Yes.
for Lucas's 9th birthday.
Yes, I would totally dig into those cakes. They looked very, very good.
You and me both. Yeah, for sure. And Jack wants to know what predators elephants have in the wild.
Actually, humans are the main predators that they have. The babies are more susceptible to like tigers, and Asian elephants, tigers, lions, obviously, and African elephants. But humans, unfortunately, are their main predators.
And people are asking, it is okay for them to eat the cardboard?
Yes, it is perfectly fine for them to eat cardboard. It's basically just reprocessed trees.
Yep. A little extra fiber.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
The really cool thing about as we were talking about the matriarchy system and everything, so the calves will actually be surrounded by all the adult elephants, all the grandmas, all the moms, all the sisters, all the kids. So they'll be surrounded by the adults so that they're protected from predators. So it's usually like if there's a sick calf, they're more susceptible to something.
Sure. And Carol asks, how old is Renee?
Renee is 40 years old.
And Gianna, age 10, would like to know, how long can an elephant's tusks get?
They can get about 6 to 8 feet. They grow about an inch a year. If you look up the word tusker on Google, tusker is a term that's used for African and Asians that have the very, very, very long tusks. It's very, very impressive to see those. So his tusks are probably about 2 feet long, I would say, and they continue to grow, as does Renee's and Twiggy's as well.
And Lucy asks, what's the purpose of their tusks?
So they use their tusks to dig for water. They use them to defend themselves. As you can see, Lucas right here is going to demonstrate what he uses his tusks for. So they strip bark. So you can see him holding the log up against the shade structure. He's using his tusk to kind of break the bark away from the actual tree limb, and then he's using his trunk to pull the bark down. It's a really, really cool thing. He's an expert at this.
That is really, really neat to watch.
Yes.
And talk to us about protected contact and positive reinforcement training that you guys do with them. You don't go in with them, but you still have quite a relationship.
Correct. So we're what's known as a protected contact facility. So we're not physically sharing the same space with the elephant. So we're not in with the elephant. And a lot of zoos have moved to protected contact. Some zoos still are free contact, but just for safety reasons, a lot of zoos have switched over to this style. We are still able to train the elephant, and they're able to do any behavior that we would be able to do in free contact as well. We use all positive reinforcement. So when we're working with the elephants and doing our training sessions, we simply ask the animal to do what we need them to do. So ask them to present their foot, present their tail, open their mouths, and we're able to look at all the parts of the elephant's body just from the other side of the bars. And then once they do the behavior that we've asked, they will get a treat. So it's all a very positive thing. We're not forcing the elephants to do anything that they don't want to do. If we're giving them a bath and the door is open, they can choose to leave. So it's kind of up to the elephant. If they're not really listening and they seem to be really caring too much for us that day, we'll just simply end the session and that be that.
And McKenna, age 4, wants to know, do they eat grass?
Yes, they do. A lot of times you'll see them out here. The grass is growing in really nicely this year. They will use those finger-like projections at the end of their trunk, and they will pick up single blades of grass they'll actually wrap their trunk around the grass if it's long enough too and pull it up and eat it. So they love that.
And Denise wants to know, are African elephants endangered?
So they're considered vulnerable at this point. About 300 to 400,000 are estimated to still be in Africa, but only about 96 elephants a day are being poached. So it's a really sad situation. Asian elephants are even harder hit. There's only about 30,000 left of Asian elephants. So there may be a day that there are no elephants left in the wild anymore, which really makes it important for us to take the best care so that these guys can be the ambassadors for their wild counterparts, because there may be a day that there are no elephants left. People may just be reading about them in books. So it's a very sad situation.
It really is, because as you guys have seen during this, they are amazing creatures.
Yes.
Mary Beth would like to know, what was Lucas's birth weight?
I'm not quite sure. When I looked on our information system this morning, the first weight we have on track for him was, I believe, 298 pounds. So it may have been just slightly less than that when he was first born. But elephants weigh anywhere between 250 to 300 pounds.
And you said he currently weighs just over almost 4,500 pounds.
Yes,
huh?
4,560 pounds was his weight yesterday.
And he can grow to be how big?
They can weigh up to about 16,000 pounds on the high end, but we expect him to get 14,000 probably.
Wow, that's amazing.
And he'll put a lot of height on too, so he'll be a lot taller than Renee as well.
And you said right now he's just over 6 feet. With his tire on, he's probably a little taller.
Yep.
And Allison wants to know, how big are their adorable ears?
They are very big. I don't have an exact size, probably about, looking at about 1.5 feet on him, and probably about at least 2 feet height-wise on Renee. The cool thing about their ears is they are basically their own personal air conditioning units. So on really hot days, you'll see them flapping their ears back and forth behind, and as you could see Renee do right there, behind their ears there's a whole lot of blood vessels and veins and everything. So when they're flapping their ears back and forth, it's helping cool their bodies off and push that heat off their bodies. Behind their ears is also where we do our blood draws. So we will collect blood on them regularly just to make sure there's nothing funky going on. If somebody is acting a little off, if they're not eating, or if they're appearing sick, usually blood draw is one of the first things that we do on the elephant, just to check their white blood cell count, just to see if there's something going on. So they are all trained to let us do that. We use a 21 gauge needle, so it's a very small needle, and it's something painless for them. Again, it's done through positive reinforcement. We have ports in our training wall that are ear shaped, and they'll actually just present their ear when we ask them, and then we'll get the blood from them.
Very cool. And Nathan wants to know if Lucas has any other things he likes to play with as much as his tire.
I would say the tire is probably number one on his list.
Very
He hasn't really put it down much since he has come out here. He loves his zip line too. He just walked past it, as you can see. We have a bungee cord on there, and again, tires, because he loves them so much. So he will a lot of times be wearing that long tire and then kicking around the tire on the bungee cord while it's going crazy all over the place. So he loves his tires.
That is so cool. Well, they have just about finished their 2 cakes here today. And so we want to thank you guys for joining us for Lucas's 9th birthday party today. As Anna has told us, he doesn't actually turn 9 until June 3rd, but we're celebrating a little early today, and everybody's getting in on the celebration. Mom Renee got some cake and treats. Friend Twiggy over there got her own cake and treats. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. We hope that you have enjoyed this. If you would like to donate, please hit that donate button at the bottom. All of the money that we raise during our live feeds goes right back into the zoo's mission. And if you specifically love these elephants, become their zoo pal. It's a symbolic animal adoption to help provide cool things like birthday treats for them. You can check that out at toledozoo.org/zoopal. And we, as we've told you guys, we are committed to doing these live feeds as long as we're closed. So each day at 10:30, we'll be moving all around the zoo. We appreciate the elephant staff, our catering staff, our enrichment and training staff, everybody for helping us put on this birthday party. We hope that you guys really enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. Happy birthday, Lucas!